Alright, welcome everyone. My name is Paula Phillips, also known as JournalArtista, and tonight is Stencil Saturday. And I'm going to feature a new brand of stencils, a new line of stencils from Artist Seller here in a little bit, which I'm excited about. And I'm going to quickly show what else I did in my travel journal. So this is a journal. I'm going to put some thickers here that say Atlanta or ATL. So I know I showed it last Saturday on my stream. I apologize for not being here Wednesday. My week off work caused a lot of work to catch up on this past week. So I put in a lot of hours and was a little tired. Excuse me, I'm drinking a little bit of water. So I've worked a lot on this. This is one of Dee Dee travel thing here. But I worked a lot on this on Sunday before my flight. And this is a journal I made a couple Saturdays ago that didn't quite record all the way. I apologize for that. That's a little bit frustrating. I didn't realize that the recording had stopped. Yeah, so I'll just do a little quick flip. I got a couple postcards from Stone Mountain that I incorporated. There's a little Paula Deen thing there Dee gave me. So I incorporated my, plane tickets and baggage, stickers and whatnot. And for some of you that were here with us a couple Saturdays ago, you'll see some of the backgrounds and then how I added to them just some paper, some hotel ephemera, some stickers from the $1.50 spot at Michael's. I didn't do anything else with this page other than putting a little Picasso painting there. That's a Michael's dollar spot little wine glass there. I love their rub-ons. This was from the hotel, believe it or not, a piece of hotel ephemera, because I guess the woman that wrote this, I think that's what it was anyways, had her house is there in Georgia. And I left lots of room. I'm going to do some writing in here. You see that little horse there and a couple more of the rub-ons. And this page Dee did for me. A wonderful inkwell. It says don't forget to write. So she did that one in this journal. I put my little tiny attacher thing on there. Has a little flap. Some rub-ons to that global paper, Seven Gypsies Global. This is a little pocket. I don't have anything in it though. More hotel ephemera, some room for writing. I worked on this quite a bit on the Sunday. And remember, I had a whole bunch of, Dee gave me this ephemera, but I had a whole bunch of random bits that I had in my little kit there, so I added a Tim Holtz texture fade, the brick one there, and a couple of die cuts. Hi Judy. Love that couch. Absolutely love it. And then you can see that's the hotel ephemera there that you can't see when it's closed. And here's a little from the newspaper, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. That was more of a Dee inspired page. You saw me work on this one a little bit during the pre-chat. And I added a baggage tag thing. This is what I did last Saturday. And then I put my plane ticket in the end here, part of our customs form that I had to fill out. And on this Teresa Collins. I put another postcard there, and there's also a pocket here in the back. So quite a bit. I mean, I'd pretty much call it done except for the cover and maybe some writing. So I was excited that you know, I did a lot of work in it, mostly Saturday and Sunday at Dee Dee's house, but it was fun to see how much you can actually get done in a week. Really, mostly in a weekend. In a weekend, but so again, I apologize that the recording didn't you know, stopped for this real simple journal. I really like, I'll do that again, making a simple journal and putting chipboard as covers, because I really liked how sturdy this is. I'd been to Georgia many years ago. When I was a teenager. I was in Savannah once. I've been in the airport a couple times, but other than that, that's really all I've seen. So tonight, it's Stencil Saturday, and so the wonderful Lisa from the Artist Cellar. I really want to call it Artistic Cellar. I am not sure why. But it is the Artist Cellar. Has a new line of stencils out. And I was saying earlier that they're comparable to the Crafters Workshop. If you also go to artistcellar.com, Lisa does sell some Crafters Workshop stencils there too. So if you're there picking up these wonderful new stencil designs, you can always pick up some of the Crafters Workshop ones as well. That chipboard, Kimberly, was, to make that book, was just the backing of one of the watercolor paper packs I used, that I bought at Michael's. I used the paper in the journal, and then, you know, it comes with the chipboard in the back. That's what I used. Hi, Tetsuya. I did. I learned how to use the matte medium from Dee Dee. She uses about 10 times more than I use, and that's my problem. So there's 4 different series. The first one called Cathedral, which I'll be using tonight. And there's 4 stencils in each series. These are 2 of them. Very unique. Absolutely love it. Excuse me, got the hiccups now. And then she has a steampunk series, which is all gears. I used one of them already in this little book here tonight, and it looks like, during our pre-chat, it looks like this. You can see that. Very, very cool. And this is the other one. Absolutely love it. Also has one called Traditional Japanese Series. Some beautiful dragonflies and some flowers. They're all in 6x6. And last but definitely not least is the Japanese Geometric Series. Here's 2 of them. Kind of like a basket weave. Absolutely love them. Can't wait to use those ones as well. So they're regular $4.40 each at artistcellar.com, but you can also get the full set of 4 stencil set for $15.99, which is wonderful. Absolutely love them. Again, nice good quality. I told you guys I bought one from, you know, Martha Stewart has the new stencils you can buy from Michael's, and they, albeit nice, are not as nice quality. They're quite thin. Quite thin. So tonight I will be using the Cathedral series here, which I think, even though I absolutely love gears, love the steampunk, I really love these Cathedral ones. Just they're so unique, and tonight I'll do a little bit of layering with them, but you know, you can layer them each on top of each other to get some cool effects, or use them, you know, I can layer them all together to get, not layer them together, but put them together to get different looks. So tonight we're going to start, this is the little journal I like to keep in my purse. I think I'll start in this one. do a little bit of a background page here. And this is just very thin paper. This book is called Betty and Betts Limited UK. I bought it at Home Sense, which is the equivalent to a Home Goods in the US, and I think it was like $3. It has very thin pages in it, so some pages I'm just like I would with my composition books, I've just glued 2 pages together. So I'm going to start with some black paint, and you guys have seen me do a YouTube of this technique I did last December, but I'm going to put a little twist on it here with these new stencils. So I'm going to start with just some regular black craft paint. You can use black gesso if you want, but I'm just going to use some regular black paint. I'm going to put it on my non-stick mat here, acting like a palette, and I'm going to find a brush. And I want to take most of the water out of the brush because these are kind of thin pages here. I might even have to put, depending on the craft paint you use, this stuff is from the dollar store, so it's very economical, but at the same time it may not get a full coverage of black, so I might have to add a layer or 2. So bear with me while I paint it black. I like to keep this little journal in my purse, so that on my lunch break at work, if I take one, I can just pull it out and maybe do some doodling or some journaling, add a couple quotes, or write down some ideas. But it's nice to have something that has some pages kind of already done that you can build off of. I did not pre-gesso these pages at all. This is just black craft paint on a background. So I've seen, I was taking a nap when Dee Dee showed the Cloth Paper Scissors Pages magazine. I have not seen it myself yet. I do know that some of you guys have found it. I'm really excited to see it, and I hope you will really enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good one. It's all about book making and book arts in general. It's not just art journaling, but it does have an art journaling section in it. Alright, so I just want to really make sure that it's completely black, completely covered. Found the new magazine by Cloth Paper Scissors called Pages. Alright. So I do have a bit of black paint left, so I'm just going to get out random journal I got going on. I don't like to waste waste my paints. Just clean it up here real quick. All right. Heat gun. Alright, that is really black. Welcome, Stephanie. Alright, so I'm going to start, these two cathedral stencils. One is kind of finer detailed than the other, and that's the one I'm going to use first. So all I'm going to make sure is I line it up right to the bottom. And when I say line it up, I'm going to line up the bottom of the stencil, not the bottom of the design. So the actual bottom of the stencil is going to be right at the bottom of the art journal. So I can't use my purple color wash because it clogged. I'm really upset about that. Earlier during the pre-chat, my purple color wash, I went to use it and the bottle, the trigger is clogged. Not sure what happened there, but I'm none too pleased, as we say. So instead I'm going to use some stream. I'm going to start it with some stream. And a little bit of, I think I'll add a little bit of butterscotch as well. Now, here's what's important. When I take the stencil away, I'm going to stick it in my journal for a second while that side dries. But I want to use the same thing on this side here. So, got a little bit of but because I will have to flip the stencil over, I'm going to have to clean the stencil, which is something I don't normally do. Take this for a second. Let's see. Let's see if I can just take... Oh, I was going to spray it with water, but my water sprayer is in my travel kit. I haven't even barely unpacked. I've unpacked, my clothes and such, but I haven't unpacked my art stuff. Alright. But I do want it semi-clean. To get a clean image on the other side. Alright, it's going to be one of those messy kind of nights. 2 minutes into it, my hands are all Okay. So now I'm doing it again on the other side. Same thing, lining up the bottom of the stencil. And I flipped it over because I want to have the design, I want to look like it's, a full tile, shall we say. So, a little bit of the stream and a little bit of the butterscotch, and now I can let this completely dry in my journal there. Okay, make sure it's all off my poor mat's taking a beating tonight. Hi, Katie. Alright, so you can see right now a little bit of the spray because it's you can see the wetness of it. But I'm going to take my heat gun so I can dry it. Heat gun. Alright, so there's a little couple puddles where it really kind of piled on there, so I'm just going to take my paper towel and kind of dab it. Alright, so I'm going to take my second stencil, again from the Cathedral series, and line it up right in the middle, right to the bottom. And I'm going to find my spouncer. I bought, one thing I forgot to show in my haul the other day from last week was I did buy the Martha Stewart ones. I left them downstairs. But I did buy the new Martha Stewart. Where did my sponsors go? I just got them from the bathroom. Oh my goodness. Lose my journal, lose my sponsors. It's a great night. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have my gesso, and what I'm going to do is put a little bit of the gesso on my mat here. And it's important because you don't want your color wash, I can't be dipping it into my, into my container, because you don't want your color wash to taint, your whole jar of gesso. So I've got my spouncer and I've got my stencil placed. Uh-oh, I got some water there. Got that up. Lining it up again at the bottom. And I'm just going to start, I'm actually going to cover this whole thing with gesso. So I'll start in this corner, hold the stencil down, and just start pouncing. I like the stencil because it has nice, real thick borders. So you can use a palette if you don't have a big non-stick mat like this. This is a Ranger mat. I like to use it because I don't have to worry about a palette and I can just wipe the rest of it up. And these are called spouncers made by Plaid. And like I said, the Martha Stewart has some new ones out that don't have a wooden handle. It's kind of a sponge in a plastic handle. You can use a makeup wedge if you don't have a sponsor or just a regular sea sponge. Alright, how fun is that? So, while that's drying for a second, I gotta find a wet baby wipe here. Because again, I'm going to flip the stencil over, so I don't want to have the excess. And if you do this while it's still, you know, the gesso's still wet, it's real simple to clean. Get to do the other side. Alright. So, again, flipping the stencil, lining it up to the middle and to the bottom of my page. And do the same thing. And I'm trying to just go straight up and down with my sponsors as not to, you know, then it helps so that it doesn't go underneath the stencil. The gesso doesn't, that is. You could turn the stencil, but for the design, I want to look like it's a tile, right? You're half of a tile, so that means I have to turn it over, don't I? Now you got me all confused. Now I'm second guessing myself. Thanks, Bart. Oh. Almost done. I obviously haven't had enough coffee today. As soon as I finish spouncing this, I'm going to look at it, see if I have just turned it. Alright, so if I start it like that, yeah, I could have just turned it. Okay, learned something. Oh boy, I'll be alright. So I still got lots of gesso here. So same journal I'm working on. I like to have a journal close by that when I have opportunities like this, you know, where I have lots of gesso left or different paint, then I just have something I can quickly grab. And for me, it's kind of fun. Kind of fun just to use my regular, my leftover paints and such, and see what comes out of it. It's also a pretty good, you shouldn't really do this with your sponsors, this whole rubby thing. Not only will your paint and stuff go underneath the stencil, but it'll eventually break down your sponsor. But I'm just trying to be quick here. Should not do, should not do. So that's kind of fun. So I'm going to stick my sponsor in water. I'm going to quickly wipe off my stencil. I could have just turned it. Oh boy. Normally I don't clean my stencils, but when I have a lot of gesso like that, you know, or paint, something that would dry on it. Alright, so let's go back to this. So what I'm going to do now is use my heat gun. It's blurry. There we go. To continue the drying. And again, the color wash is going to come through the stencil. Heat gun. So if you guys remember when I did this technique, which actually is one of the pages that's published in this art journaling magazine, I did this technique. There's a YouTube video called, oh, what did I call it? How to use color wash with gesso. And I originally saw the technique done by Julie Faye Van Balzer, with a white background, but then I thought, wouldn't that be awesome doing it in black? So that's the page that's on the YouTube video with the different white, and you can also use a different color of paint if you don't want to use the white gesso. Or in that page I use a combination. So if you see the white, let's retract a bit. So color wash comes up through gesso. And I wanted to use it on black because it hides, black will hide all the color wash that you sprayed. So when you put the white gesso on, I mean, it completely transforms it. You can't, it just looks like it comes up from nothing. And as you see, the first stencil I put down, the white areas are from that first stencil. Because the first stencil I put down where I sprayed the color wash, you know, it didn't go, you know, that's where the first spray on the stencil. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't have traded my coffee for water. It protected the black. So where you see white, that's the white gesso, because the gesso covered over the black, right? Does that make sense? Oh my goodness, I need my coffee. See, Vicky, I should have had the rum. Okay. So the first stencil, where did it go? Oh, it's in my journal. It's still drying in my journal here. Look how cool that is. Woo-hoo-hoo. Love the detail. When I sprayed the color wash with this stencil, you know, you might think, oh, it's going to be black, but it's not. When I added the gesso, because there's no color wash, it shows up white over the black. But layering them is absolutely awesome. I need coffee. I need rum. Maybe rum and coffee. So you can you use something? Well, see, the thing, Rose, is that it has to be an ink that is reactive with water. So it would not work with Glimmer Mist, because Glimmer Mist is permanent. Something that's, excuse me. So any of your dye inks that aren't permanent should work too. Yeah, where's my finger? Simon, coffee. But color wash is absolutely wonderful. I just love how it gives it a nice subtle effect. Lindy's won't work. Something that's going to still react with water. So a good way to test if you have a spray, a different company like Mr. Huey's, because I haven't tried Mr. Huey sprays myself. Just spray it first on your paper, see if it will move with water. But I truly suggest getting yourself a couple of color washes, Adirondack color wash, because there's just so much you can do with it. And I start out with a black background, so what pops up, so often I do this technique, because color wash goes through gesso no matter what, but it's nice to start with the black background because it just looks like it's come out of nothing. Maybe not in this journal. You can see a little bit here where I used it, how it's coming through right there. I don't want to promote anybody spraying alcohol. The safety manager in me just gets a little worried with that. I'm trying to find if I another page where I've done that. You'd think all these journals close to me, I must have done it somewhere on my moleskin. My moly. Which is pretty much done. I looked at buying another one yesterday and I held off. It's come through there, but experimentation is fun, absolutely. You can see all of these circles, which were painted on top of color wash with gesso. I haven't shown you a flip in this book in a long time, eh? If you see in my journals, a lot of pages aren't done, and that's fine. I don't worry about that type of stuff. Sometimes I'll go back to it, sometimes not. It's not a big deal to me if things aren't completely finished. Sometimes people get so caught up with, oh, I have to finish this page or I have to finish this journal, and then get themselves all worked up rather than just turning the page and continuing to enjoy the process. Did the moly hold up? Yes, actually. I mean, it was a little bit messed up in the spine, and this was the sketchbook one. It definitely held up better than the first one, but I have had to tape a few pages here and there. But it definitely held up better than the first one I had. But again, a lot of the pages, it all depends on how many layers you put on there, right? Anyway, so now this, to me, this page is pretty much done. I think I might up here stamp in Gesso, stamp a title or whatnot, but just something like this inspires me. Just looking at it. Just looking at it inspires me. But what I'll do is flip over a couple of pages and show you that if what it would look like with the same stencils layered. Let's see if I can find a page that's been stuck together. When I say stuck together, I mean 2 pages that have been glued together. Not that it matters too much. Okay, I'll just do it right here. I want to show you the same stencils layered with sprays without the gesso. So I'm going to use a butterscotch first. I'm going to do a little bit light to dark. Heat gun. So again, this journal, the paper it's very, very, very thin, my friends. Alright, so I can lay this other stencil on top, and that's why these are so wonderful. This is lettuce color wash. You can layer them or use them separately, and it's just as gorgeous either way. Oh, I just sprayed my hand. And I think I'll just flip this guy over here. See where my finger is? I better. Oh my goodness, I kill myself sometimes. I really need more coffee. Alright, I'm going to heat set this heat gun. And remember, to get a really good image from, the reverse, it's better to kind of let it sit in your journal a little bit so that the spray can really sink into the paper. I'm just drinking water. Although, like I said, I think I should be drinking something heavier. It might help me out today. Alright, I'm going to just make sure this is dry. Heat gun. So you can get some interesting designs just layering the 2 stencils. I mean, you can only imagine what you could get if you had all 4 of the cool cathedral stencils. But I'm going to add a little bit of color to this one, and you'll see how it'll also come through with a lighter color. Let's try some antique gold. This is just craft paint. And I hadn't gessoed the page or anything prior to this. This is right on a very thin paper. Now let's see. Instead of using a spouncer, I'll just use a little fake credit card here. And now because there's no gesso, remember, it's hard to spread paint, for me anyways, without gesso, because it kind of just sinks into the paper and sticks there. You know, but the old to gesso or not to gesso is truly all about your style and what look you're going for. So again, I got some extra paint. Just gonna add it to this random journal. And this is one of the fold-out journals from Inkwell, from our wonderful friend Dee Dee's Etsy. And really, all I've done in this journal is just using excess paint and stuff. And then when it gets to a certain point, then I'll have fun collaging and working over it. Alright, heat gun. So the lighter the color of the paint, the more it's going to come through, the more you're going to be able to see the color wash come through. So it's a darker paint, so it's having a little bit more trouble. So now I'm going to get real risky and add a little bit of gesso on top of this. What is going on with the blurage? Joyce is just eyeballing a Happy Meal. Dale's carving some stamps. Poor Rose is cold. So you got a little bit of gesso. This is the Daler Rowney stuff that you can buy, the cheap stuff you can buy at Walmart. And I love these kind of books where you can just have no thought in the world to what's going to come out of anything. It's just about enjoying the process of smacking down paint, and who doesn't love that? You know, the thinking part can come afterwards when you're playing around. Heat gun. So you can see that it's still somewhat coming through. And I'm just laughing at my own self over here. So this time, yeah, I'll just flip it around rather than turning it over. Oh boy. I'm going to use some Meadow color wash. flip this one over. Again, these wonderful stencils are from artistseller.com. Not artistic seller. I think it's the T and the C together. I want to say artistic seller. So I'm just holding it down so I get a good impression. Yeah, the meadow, color wash meadow is a wonderful, it's a nice green. It's a kind of a deep olive green, maybe an ivy. I will, Vicky. As soon as this, well, maybe I can turn it now. So you can see the two different stencils in that one. And depending on the colors I used, you know, I used the butterscotch, you know, which lightened up the green. But imagine if I used red or all different colors. I only used 2 colors. You know, you could use however many colors you want. And the red's downstairs in my travel kit. But how stunning would that have been? Or some of the purples. All right. He got it. Let's see. I think I'm feeling. Now we're just in a playing mode. I mean, the most of the technique tonight was reminding you guys of the ghosting with color wash, and I use the term ghosting from the wonderful Les Herger with Comfortable Shoes Studio. She was the one who originally taught us how to do ghosting with Sharpies. Same kind of technique where you write with a Sharpie and the Sharpie bleeds through gesso, and she called it ghosting. So let's find some gouache. Gouache. Here we go again. Gouache. My hand's shaking like I've had a few drinks, huh? There we go. This is the Cheap Reeves brand, which is, and it's it's an opaque watercolor. This is Brilliant Red, or Rouge, yeah, Brilliant Red. So I'm going to put a little bit on my table here, tiny bit. And so remember, when I start adding a little bit of a wash in some places here, it's going to dissolve some of this color wash as well. So everybody don't get all freaked out. It's going to happen. It's kind of, that's why I'm using a watercolor And some of these, sometimes, for me anyways, these type of journals, I love to do because it's where I do a lot of my experimenting and playing to see if something like this will work or will it just turn out to be a hot mess. I hear Simon outside. Can you hear him talking? So it's mixing with the green a little bit, turning somewhat brown. Just gotta be careful because again, I'm just using, these ones aren't, this page doesn't even have, I didn't even glue them together with my glue stick, so it's very, very loose. Sometimes when you're trying to do this, when you stick two pages together, the more you kind of move your journal, the more it will give you a... So I've completely almost lost the entire, hold on, let me dry this and then you'll see, you tell me what you see. Heat gun. Hi, Carol. One thing, I truly believe is never worry about covering up something you've already done. So if I pretty much lost the entire stencil design, it's alright with me. Yeah, I think if you turn it this way, I see wings too. There's not quite dry in the spine. In the spine there's a whole bunch more paint. Let me just make sure that's dry, guys. I don't want it sticking. The Mothman. Yeah, so these are that's, you're seeing it right side up. The side, I'm gonna have to glue these pages together, guys, real quick. When I glue pages together in a journal like this, be it anything that has real thin pages that I need something sturdier to work on, whether you're doing an altered book or you're using a composition book as a journal or whatnot, I always use a glue stick, and I will put the glue on both sides of the pages. Oh, look at this poor page. Oh no! Look at this. It's like completely come apart over here. Some journals just aren't meant to be art journals. Isn't that the truth, my friend? Okay, I'm gonna find some tape and try to salvage this. Excuse me for a second while I find it. I know I did see the tape earlier today. Not that that helps any. Okay. So I'm just going to use, I put a piece of paper in here, and that just completely came apart. So let's use some cheap masking tape. Night, Daphne. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming. What time is it? 10:30. Sometimes just have to do a little bit of journal surgery. Sometimes I'll just use masking tape like this. Sometimes I'll use it just doesn't want to focus on this page. Sometimes I'll use some nice printed tape. Whoa, this page is coming apart too. I glued it and it's still not liking me. I might have to glue this page to this page, even though I have that paint there. And that really happened because I put too much water. I was using too much water without on pages that hadn't been glued to one another. Or it's okay. It'll give the book more character. Oh boy. This is a journal I bought at HomeSense, which is like a Home Goods in the US. It's really just supposed to be for writing or whatnot, but it's made by Betty and Betts Limited, UK. Made in India. Eco-friendly organic cotton cover, and I love this stamp. Yeah, it's real thin paper. You know, it's not probably made to have all this type of stuff on it. Especially when I'm not. Especially when I add so much water to it. So I just have to remember to make sure that I glue the pages together from here on in, or not use any water. So now I'm going to have to tape that page together too. So let us find some greenish tape here. This is one from the Michaels dollar bin, and I was really disappointed. Dee Dee took me to Michaels. I hadn't been for a while. They don't have any more printed tapes. Nothing new. And this is just a very subtle, kind of almost like a barcode print tape. So then you just see something like this. Night, Katie. Bowl of brains, Joy said. Bowl of brains. I kind of like that. So, I mean, in this particular journal, that's all I would do for that page, and then maybe I'll do my doodling or whatnot over it. Absolutely love it. Oh, you guys. Always have something funny to say whenever I do this technique. But I think sorry, I'm just talking to myself now. Not that that's anything out of the normal. I think what I'm going to do is turn the stencil like this. Maybe just the top here. I use a little bit of stream. Oh, I shifted it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I had to show you tonight. I know it's a real quick show. I need to go down and hang out with Simon a little bit more. Always good after you come back from a... Ooh! Oh! There's a lot of stream on there. So I hope you enjoyed it. Real simple technique with some really awesome stencils. So check out artistseller.com for Lisa's wonderful new designs. Tell her I sent ya. And we'll see where this page goes. I don't know. I don't know where this page is going. I just dabbed some of it up. I've really missed you guys. Thanks again. My schedule, I'll be back on Wednesday now that everything's back to normal. I know Wednesday for you guys and a lot of you guys in the US is getting real close to Thanksgiving. So I hope you'll join me there. Join me then, I should say. Anyways, give it a try. I would love to see what you come up with. And see you guys on Twitter. Much love, everyone.